Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's completely unnecessary, and it's really important that we get the show started. I know. I know. I know. This is very exciting. I haven't been on in quite a while. Uh, I'm excited too. I really am, even though I'm going to make this brief tonight. It's really important to me to make sure. Come on. Oh, come on. You guys, stop it. Just stop it. I mean, I'm not here for my own enjoyment. I'm here on a mission, and I think that that's a very important mission, and that is how to make student loans disappear. That is the name. Yes, now that's good. That's the name of this installment of Student Loan Justice live stream, Thursday night, July 20th. No, not July, August 6th, July 20th. I'm looking for the calendar. I'm looking at the time on my computer. It's 7:20 at night. Thank you. I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. But I know people see the title to this episode and they go, I know, it's exciting. How to make student loans disappear. Is that even possible? Yeah, look, I'm gonna have to talk to these people and have them quiet down a little bit so that we can get through this. And very important, very important. Okay, thank you. So uh, I don't want to try to look like I'm trying to fool anybody. That wasn't actually a real audience. That I know you thought it was. Everybody out there thought, hey, Ed's got a room full of people. We got a pandemic going on. Nobody's wearing masks. He's talking crazy about getting student loans to disappear. And where the hell has Ed been? Well, Ed's been here, and Ed's been doing a lot of stuff. Ed had some massive electronic failures across the board. Computer, phone, it all went kablooey at roughly the same time. So I'm hoping that this new setup is going to allow me to broadcast more effectively. I want to remind people I don't get any feedback immediately as I provide the live stream. So if you're getting any funky sounds other than the silly things that I say, or the video's cutting out, make a comment. Pass that on because that might be the only way that I know while I'm live broadcasting if there's a problem with the connection or anything. I really appreciate it people do that because I'm telling you, it is disheartening to go on for hours and hours and hours, as I generally do, presenting these live streams to find out that really only the first 5 or 10 minutes ever actually got broadcast. So I said I was going to be brief, and I am. I'm very very anxious to see that my ability to reach out to folks via live stream has improved technically. Like I said, please give me some feedback if it hasn't. And, the enticing title of tonight's episode, How to Make Student Loans Disappear. And of course, it's a little bit tongue in cheek, but not entirely. I would like to point something out that occurred to me as I was choosing uh, sound effects to start off my episode with. I'm not sure exactly how many, it's been several weeks since I've done a live stream, but what was important is, as I recall, our petition was somewhere in the 300,000 range or something like that. And it was growing, but it wasn't growing at a particularly rapid pace. Then, we really kind of started to double down and push and, get people going. And whatever happened over the last, say, 8 to 10 days, whatever it was, it might even be less than that. We picked up close to another 250,000 signatures. 3, 4, 5, 50, something like that. Seriously. That's incredible. And the group continues to grow as a result of it. So, there is multiple levels at which this petition helps our cause. If you want to help us make student loans disappear, then I need to continue to urge all of you folks out there. And I'm going to say something. It's very clear to me that there have been people out there working hard on gathering signatures and getting attention for this petition. And it's quite obvious, as was evidenced by the last week and a half or so, of nearly 250,000 signatures coming in, pouring in, and the residual increases in our membership. And listen, folks, you know, I know sometimes it might sound really redundant and downright boring that we are sticking to this strategy at this time. But I'm going to just go over a couple of brief points that I hope will help people really understand how important and how powerful our current strategy could be. Look, it's no secret. All of us know we're dealing with a pandemic in this country, something along the lines of which I don't know anyone has seen before. Uh, and the impacts it's having economically, individually, and otherwise on people varies, but it's generally not good. So the United States Congress, in their infinite wisdom, and I'm not disagreeing with this. It's barely a half measure, but it is a measure. Have suspended student loan payments, collection activities, and accrual of interest into September. So here's what I wanted to talk about. If you're one of the people out there who has been paying more than you can afford on a monthly basis for a significant period of time, and there's a lot of you. And I'm assuming, of course, that your job hasn't been waylaid, but even if it has, imagine if your job had been compromised because of the rules regarding social distancing, and you still had to make those payments. So this is kind of just a little bit of a hint, folks, of what it's like when those payments go away. Well, they're coming back in September with the caveat there's always a possibility that somebody in Washington, a person or persons, may choose to institute a policy that just kicks the can a little further down the road. But I haven't seen nor heard of any proposals, any existing proposals in Washington at the executive, legislative level, or any other level that is going to result in a true, genuine, long lasting, sustained fix of this incredibly predatory, usurious, and corrupt lending system. So, look, can you imagine it for a lot of you going back in September or whenever it may be, when the pain of this pandemic will quite possibly be a little more severe, having to resume those payments? I can't, although I stopped paying my student loans a long time ago. My philosophy is why would I pay any money toward a loan that no matter how much I send them, I can never reduce the principal? And I've used that question on quite a few legislators, folks, and I got to be honest with you, not one of them has an answer for it because it doesn't make any sense. Now, having said that, I do understand the impetus behind why some people, knowing what the truth of what I just said, may decide to continue paying their loans. But I'm very worried and very concerned that when time comes that the legislature or the executive branch no longer deems it fit to rescind pay, to temporarily halt payments or interest. And I suspect, if they do anything, it's not going to be a complete stoppage of payments and interest like we've been currently doing. I fear it's going to be something more like, making interest payments, something. But the point is, it's just a taking a brief stop on the way to the executioner, because this is all going to come back. This is all going to come back. It's going to be bigger. It's going to be worse. And I'm not trying to brighten anyone's day, obviously, but I'm being honest. I've been doing this for too long. I've seen too far, far, far too many times when the Congress or executive branch or others have had an opportunity to do what is truly the right thing. And not only have they failed in virtually every single instance to do the right thing, they've created half measures and other just ridiculous, nonsensical steps that sound good actually to people who are not really educated, to anybody who hasn't really taken the time to fully understand just how completely fucked you're getting right now. Sometimes when you hear somebody, well, we're thinking about maybe forgiving $10,000 of debt for a lot of people. Yeah, and we think that's going to be pretty good. Well, guess what? And just about everyone in this group would agree with me, and there's millions more. You might as well, I mean, yeah, we're going to take $10,000 off of what? I don't even know. I mean, is that going to be off the principal of what you originally borrowed? Are they going to reset the interest or the penalty? Come on. So taking $10,000 off a loan that has exploded so far beyond the point of what you originally, it's an insult, it's ridiculous, and it's pathetic. We have a very, very unique opportunity to generate the necessary force, if you will, or will, of a very large, grotesquely underrepresented portion of the population who are the 50 to 60 million Americans who, to some degree, have a leg, a foot, a toe, an arm, or half their body caught in this trap. When those loans come back into repayment and the economy is still on its way down, I can't even imagine the carnage that could create for a lot of people financially to suddenly have to begin to repay money into a bottomless pit. I would just as soon throw my money literally into a fire. And that's the truth. I'm at the point now where if by some magical reason, because I generally don't play the lottery, but if I won $30 million in the lottery tomorrow, I would still never voluntarily pay one dime on my student loans. True story. I'd be willing to spend several million of that money fighting for restoration of sanity, justice, and fairness in this student lending system. So it's not that I'm a deadbeat, because I'm not. I just know the difference between right and wrong. And I know when I'm being screwed. And I know when it makes sense to pay a bill and when it doesn't. This one doesn't. And it breaks my heart to know how many millions of people are out there, even those who have successfully paid their loans. I was talking to a friend the other day. She was about to finish up on her last payments, and she's been paying them for a long time. And she knows what I'm doing. She knows a lot about my involvement here with student loan justice. So I said to her, I said, even though I'm fighting for cancellation of student debt, I still felt badly for her. And she said, why? I said, because while I admire how you have managed to uh, stay current on your living expenses and pay your loans, I feel sorry for you that you had to pay the amount that you did to go to college. Because, and she admitted, she said when she looks back and looks at the amount that she actually borrowed versus the amount she actually paid over an extended period of time, it was obscene. And there's nothing no argument I can make to justify it. So here's the deal, so that I can, stay well under 20 minutes here, which always seems harder once I get going. I could be having a tough day and I can be tired, but I start talking about and rethinking just how screwed up this whole thing is. I I get jeeped up a little bit, I have to go outside and like wrestle an alligator or something just to get the energy out of me. I don't really have. I live in Massachusetts. We don't have any alligators here that I'm aware of. Maybe in a zoo. So look, we need to hold this course, and if possible, we need to turn up the volume. First, I'm going to speak to the folks who have already been stepping up in a big way, helping us to promote this petition. Thank you, first of all. Secondly, I'm asking you and going back to the well again with each and every one of you. Even if, now, for some reason over the last couple of weeks, some folks put this petition out in some places where the response was uh, quite phenomenal. It's very important to realize that in most places where you may have posted the link to this petition, they revolve like a Facebook news page or your timeline. So please don't be afraid to go back and post it again in all the same places. It's highly unlikely that you've reaped all of the benefits that you could possibly achieve through the places that you've been to. The first time through to get the kind of response that we got is amazing. Second time through, it's not outside of the realm of possibility that the response would be even greater. Some people need to see something like this 2 or 3 times or even more before they really believe what we're doing is legitimate. It's real, that we're not some sort of, a couple of bunch of people got together with some kind of a gimmick or a sham or something. We're not asking people for money, other than the occasional requests we make here for small donations just to keep Allen going. We don't. We just don't. We rarely, if ever, actively solicit funds for anything other than the minimal budget that we use to keep Allen and some of our activities going. So we rely on you. That's our resource. Our resource is people, and our power is in people. There are millions of people out there who need to know about this group. They need to know about what we are doing, and they need to have an access to folks who can help them fully understand that they didn't screw up. They're not the problem. This is not a bad a bad borrower issue. This is a bad lender issue. This is a very intentional and very predatory and very corrupt system. So, to those folks who have been out there pretty regular, investing their own time in this solution, in addition to thank you, I guess I'm asking you, please stay with us. Please keep doing it because you've made a huge difference. The more signatures that we get on this petition, the more leverage that we have demanding attention from places like media and legislators and legislative staff and other policymakers. Let's face it, you call somebody up and you say, hey, I got this great petition. It's calling for an executive order to eliminate current federal student debt. And they say, oh, that's interesting. Let me see that. Oh, you've got 10 signatures here. Get out of my office. Now, look, you start getting up around 100,000, 200,000 signatures, you get at least a little bit of a look. We're well over 500,000. We need to get up over 1 million. We should be at 5 million. And I'd like to say that the potential of being far higher than that is actually very real. The only thing really stopping us is getting it in front of enough people. How many people do you know with student loan debt who would see this, whether it be once or twice or 3 times, and not sign it? I mean, it's ridiculous. So my second request is, though anyone out there who is watching this live stream, either currently or in recording, that has not taken any action towards sharing the link to this petition, please start doing it. Even if you just put in half an hour or 15 minutes a day, we have enough people here to make an incredible difference. And if you are experiencing the very temporary relief of being released from your obligations until next month, think about how that feels, because that's what we're working for permanently. And we're not asking for anything free here, and we're not asking for favors. We're asking for our own government to protect us and to do the right thing. We're not asking, actually, we're demanding it at this point. So please, we need more people doing more of what a relatively small group of people are already doing really well. Third, final request, and Alan has made a few posts today to this effect. I just want to reiterate, contact media. That doesn't mean that you have to get the president of NBC on the phone, by the way, folks. Local media is effective. Any other media, online, print, video, television, particularly anything you like to watch that has any inclination to be interested in topics like what we're dealing with, go to their website. Find a link to some of the journalists or the reporters or the editor. Send them the petition. Send them a request or send them an offer to share more information with them about this if they're interested in doing a story, which they should be. If you feel up to it and they say, yeah, hey, that petition's interesting, would like to do a little bit of a write up on that, when are you available? Well, if you feel comfortable meeting with a journalist on the phone or in person or what have you, and sharing a little bit about our activity here, by all means, please do. But don't shy away out of fear that you don't feel comfortable or prepared to do that. Because all you really need to do in that case, if they say, yeah, I would like to do a story, say, well, I could meet with you, but I'll do you one better. The founder of Student Loan Justice, Alan Collins, can be available. And if Alan's not available, I'm willing to pinch hit. I'm not as good as Alan, to be honest with you, at some of this, but I'm pretty good. So no excuses. This is a short window of opportunity to really drive a dagger into the heart of this beast. Let's not squander it. Let's help each other out here. And let's, those three things, those of you who have already made an enormous difference getting signatures on this petition, please continue to do so, even if that means repeating everything you've already done. Most of the time, it's worth it. It's kind of like going back to the same place where you caught a lot of fish last year, because there's a pretty good chance there's going to be fish there this year. Those of you who have been sitting on the bench, please get off the bench. When you're sick enough of being sick and tired of being sick and tired, I don't know what it takes to get more people into this game. But I think that one thing is you need to take this seriously. That not just seriously that you're in a bad situation, but that we can overcome the situation through numbers. So that's my thing tonight. And thirdly, a reminder just to sum it up, call a reporter, call some media. They're lonely. All they get to talk about now is COVID and Trump. Let's get let's let's chisel out a little bit of turf for us right now, because this is an important story. Our economy is on the precipice of really taking a huge hit, and having this noose around your neck is not going to make it any easier. If we have to go into the deep end of the pool, I don't want a bowling ball attached to my ankle. So, folks, I'm Ed McKinley. I'm in Massachusetts. I'm just another bozo on the bus here, trying to help get this thing squared away. And some of you have seen some of my live streams in the past, and I hope if everything went smooth tonight to return to just here to help Alan out, really, and help you guys out, and hopefully help myself. So that's it for me tonight for Thursday, August 6th, and I hope everyone has a great night. Hope everyone's staying safe. Hope everyone's okay out there. Good night.